All right. I've seen xQc in a bit of a tiff, a bit of an issue going on. People are mad at him on like Twitter and stuff. I think because he reacted to something he probably shouldn't have reacted to. I think it was yeah, it's like right here. xQc reacts to the Israel airstrike hits Gaza tower after Hamas. I feel like that's just not. It's so insensitive. You know, everybody has their opinion on the topic. I think as long as you're giving your opinion in a respectful way, that's great. I obviously, you know, some of my opinion is different from other people, though most of it doesn't. I'm for a two-state solution. Not going to get into the specifics. I have people, you know, again, I'll say every time because people will complain about my take. You can stop by and ask me a question anytime you want that I'm streaming. Okay, just subscribe and hit the notification bell. Anyway, I'm not going to watch a whole hour of xQc babbling in 2x speed on his own. That's just the way he talks. So somebody just sent me this. This is from a Cheeto. It says huge xQc drama. We're just going to use this as a way to give us the short form of it. So let's get this going.
So xQc is one of the biggest streamers in the world. He's absolutely massive. And recently he's been getting into some controversy. He's been getting cooked on Twitter. And we're going to go over it. So this guy tweets, when I think about what's...
I wonder if it's intentional. I wonder if xQc is intentionally just trying to rage bait people. He was soy-facing Gaza strikes. Yeah, like, why would you do that? Like, this just seems so stupid. You know, it's funny because he's just doing an exaggerated form of what a lot of other people are doing, which is they're content farming the situation. Oh, let's be real about it. It is kind of the truth. A lot of people are just kind of like content farming it. But like he's doing it in like an insane way. Like this shit's fucking crazy. You know, it's very insensitive to be doing shit like that. Like soy facing fucking, that's just wild.
Scumbag, degenerate content parasites look like, I don't think I could possibly create parody more on the nose than this. And it's a video from xQc's clip channel called xQc Reacts to Israeli Airstrike Hits Gaza Tower After Hamas Attack. Now, when I saw this tweet, the first thing that I was thinking was, is this actually xQc's channel? Well, it's not his main channel, it's his clips channel. And xQc is not the one
it was his main channel.
Posting the clips to that channel. It's obviously some editor or some other person. And I do think that matters here, right? Because think about it like this.
Yeah, I know the argument. I could have swore it was on his main channel, no? Am I stupid? Oh, I mean that goes without saying, but I could have swore it was on his main channel. Hey, what's up? I guess I mean I have to be wrong about that, right? I saw the I'm mad one. I guess it wasn't on. Oh, okay. Okay. Maybe it wasn't. I guess I'm wrong. I understand the argument that's about to be made, and the fundamental argument is like, oh yeah, as a streamer, there's a difference between what you put on your main channel versus what you put on alternative channels. In a lot of cases, they'll just have some person do it for them. Oh, here's this interesting bit. Here's this interesting bit. Here's this interesting bit. Blah, 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 blah. I understand that. It's not as intentional. They're not intentionally making it for the stream. And so, yes, you can make that argument. And I think that it holds some weight. But I still think that even if it's just on the stream soy-facing, apparently, to the bombings in Palestine, is fucking insane. So...
xQc is streaming, his viewers send him clips to react to, so he just clicks on links all the time without knowing what's in them. And he saw that there was an explosion in this, tragic conflict that's happening, from a live news station, they're covering it. So he continued to watch it, which he's allowed to do on Kick because of their TOS. Now, from a moral perspective, I think having your webcam in the top left corner as, like, literally a building blows up is pretty heartless, in my opinion. I think it's pretty disconnected from reality. But I do grant xQc a level of charitability with the fact that, again, like I said, he's clicking on random links from his chat. He doesn't know what he's gonna get, and if something crazy on his screen happens, he's probably gonna keep watching it if he's interested. But if he just watches a clip and expresses his condolences and moves on, I don't think that's the worst thing ever. But that's not what happened, okay? So he watches this tragic clip, and then his brain-dead editor or something like that decides to take that clip and post it to the xQc Clips channel, giving it a title, giving it the thumbnail with xQc's shocked reaction face, and posting it to that channel with like 300,000 subscribers. And even though that's not a hands-on channel for xQc, at the end of the day, whatever is posted to that channel does represent you. Like, it's your channel, you're paying that guy to run it. If he posts something bad, I'm sorry, but you hired that guy. It looks bad on you. Now, this tweet did numbers. It got...
Yeah, it's like if you have an employee at a particular restaurant or something do something incorrect, like, you're going to blame the business takes... The the boss of the business is still kind of, you know, the one that's at fault for a majority of it. You know, if McDonald's shits in a burger, McDonald's is the one that has to answer to that. So
153,000 likes and 5.2 million views, which led to xQc responding with this. He goes, huh? And then an image of him holding up a bunch of money. Which
I mean, this is what he's kind of set the stage of. This is how he's going to respond to this stuff. He's just going to be a fucking idiot. So I guess what are we expecting?
Which is so much worse than just doubling down, because if you're doubling down, you can make an argument like, well, hey, a lot of people watch and keep up to date with this conflict happening in the Middle East, right? Like, Hassan has made videos where he's reacted to similar things. I mean,
yeah, and he fake cries too.
Look at this thumbnail. How is this any different from the clip that was taken from my stream? Make it make sense. There's a clear...
Yeah, I would argue that Hassan is probably going to be a little more respectful of the situation. That's probably the difference. But sure, like I said before, there's something about, like, a lot of the streamers are content farming this. And I've talked about it. I don't feel like I'm content farming it. I've talked about it. But that would be the argument that would be made there, is that there are plenty of other people doing stuff.
Double standard here, and I want an explanation. But instead of making an actual cohesive argument as to why what he's doing is not, you know, scumbag degenerate content, he just flexes on them, which is so just straight up stupid. You're only gonna lose people who may have supported you at the beginning. Because honestly, I do believe there is a double standard. I genuinely feel like xQc is getting heavily called out for something that Hassan probably wouldn't be getting called out for.
Yeah, probably. Again, I think that there's a reason for it. Obviously, even though I think Hassan is a little baby, you know, he's the more political streamer. He's going to talk about it in a more sensitive way, regardless of which, like, direction you lean for, you know, your politics. So that's going to be factor number one. And then also, people don't like xQc because he's like the face of the reaction content, you know, movement. He does very little to be transformative in his content. A lot of people will look to him at their point of criticism, and he's a good shield. He's a great shield. People criticize him, so it makes people like me look good by comparison. You know what I mean? xQc made that argument in the video. Hassan's editor called him out for this when Hassan's main channel videos covering the same stuff, explosions in the thumbnail. Yeah, I mean, you could argue that the sympathy bait's kind of fucked up, but I think, again, it's probably just how sensitive xQc is going to be when he talks about it. Although I could be wrong. You know, to this credit, I haven't actually seen the clip of him. I mean, I guess we could watch. I don't think I can watch it. I don't know. Is it YouTube friendly? I don't know if it's YouTube friendly. What is a soy face? Yeah, I think it's just like a shocked meme face. I guess we could see xQc clip Gaza. We'll see. Let's see. xQc learns about Gaza. Did he remove it? xQc reacts to Israel strike.
That's crazy.
Is this what they're talking about? It's not really that big of a deal. Wait, what the fuck is the issue here? Am I stupid as fuck? Oh, it might just be, I don't even know if it's this necessarily disrespectful. I might be, like, totally wrong. Am I a fat idiot? xQc reacts to Israel airstrike hits Gaza. Am I just, like, a fat idiot? Like, how bad is it, do you think? Ready for the most transformative nature you've ever seen? Because this is that video, right? xQc reacts to air, yeah. I'm pretty sure I'm going to confirm one more time that this is the one people are complaining about. After Hamas attack. Yeah, this is the video. Okay.
Jesus! What the fuck? Well, that is crazy.
Can you report at this stage? All right. You know.
That's why you can't have women there.
Close that, they could land on their head, no?
Please take cover. If you are in a position to do so safely, you can explain to us what we're happening.
Yeah, what do they aim at when they do this shit? I don't get it. Do they aim at this little building or do they just do it at random?
You're not in a position to do so safely, then
I mean, they usually have points that they're targeting Hamas infrastructure. But
please get to safety.
This is a missile attack on Palestine Tower, right in the middle of Gaza City.
Sorry, we're responsive. I'm sending it to see.
Oh, I don't understand what the issue here is.
I don't know that. No, they said it. Bro. Bro, that is, okay, that was traumatizing, what the fuck? Bro, is it a rocket? Holy!
Oh. After seeing this, like, I don't really see what the big deal is, honestly. He's doing what everybody else is doing, where they're reacting to, like, what's going on. It's let's be real, you know, the situation is serious. I understand that, but it's trendy for most people. Most people are content farming it. I don't think there's anything wrong with talking about it. Of course, I talk about it too, the Israel-Palestine conflict, you know, occasionally. But there are people who are content farming it, that are just sitting there, like Hassan. And Hassan's, the only reason I'm bringing it up is because the video talks about Hassan. Hassan is doing, like, the same thing. They're both talking about it. You could argue Hassan might be more educated about the topic. You could argue that. I don't know if I would. Well, more than xQc, probably. But yeah, you could argue that, but it's still, like, you're still basically clip chimping the situation. You're basically just trying to farm as much content out of the topic as possible, which is, a lot of people are doing that. A lot of people are talking about it a lot. Hassan probably easily just as much, if not more, than xQc. You know, like, let's see what Hassan's stuff. Okay, this is about Israel and Hamas, Israel, Hamas. This is,
let's start.
Yeah, this seems like Israel, Hamas, or maybe it's not. A lot of it, yeah, Israel, Hamas. Yeah, so Hassan is Hassan is constantly talking about his justifiable. His argument would be like, well, it's really important. It's news. It needs to be talked about. Sure, fine. I don't care. That's what you want to say. That's fine. I'm not going to say that you're wrong or not. But, like, he's doing the same thing as well. So what's really the difference? What's really the difference? I don't think it's a big deal.
xQc here, but that is one of the nicest watches I've ever seen in my life. I don't know.
Okay, great. What's the response?
He just flexes on them, which is so just straight up stupid. You're only going to lose people who may have supported you at the beginning. Because honestly, I do believe there is a double standard. I genuinely feel like xQc is getting heavily called out for something that Hassan probably wouldn't be getting called out for. And the only reason is because xQc is not seen as a political news reaction live TV information guy.
Yeah, I don't think it's just that. I think it's just, again, xQc is kind of seen as the guy that people don't like when it comes to the reaction thing. He tends to do very, you know, low, he tends to do very, like, I guess you'd say low reactions, right? He doesn't do a whole significant amount of transforming. So that's probably a big part of it. And he's already under a lot of fire in that capacity, in that mode. So I think that there's probably a lot of it is to do with that, but okay.
Seen as the gamer nerd, and Hassan, he's a very intelligent news reaction. It's just like, you know, because of the labels, you can get away with certain things. The best course of action if I'm xQc is to say, hey, all right, I'm gonna take this down. I understand, maybe it's...
No, I think that's the worst reaction he could do, is to take it down. Like, in a lot of cases, even if you're wrong, and maybe you'll be upset with me saying this, but even if you're wrong, you probably shouldn't concede. You probably shouldn't take things down. Because then it just gives people, it makes them think like they have like a lot of control over you, and it makes them feel like they can dictate what you do and don't post, and that could be like very negative for you, because then once people realize that you'll bend to them, they just start going at it even more. They start, you know, being even more fucking unhinged. So I wouldn't take it down at all.
It's not cool, comes across the wrong way, I'll delete this. Or, if you want to make an argument as to why this should be up, make the argument. But flexing is so trashy, it's so overplayed, it's so...
I think xQc's argument of why he's not going to or why he's flexing is because and he might be right about this, nobody's going to like change their mind. Like, there's no argument xQc is going to really be able to make that'll make people go like, oh, you know what, you're right. Like, for the most part, the people who hate him, they're just going to say whatever the fuck. They're just going to be like, no, he's an asshole, I don't like him, blah, 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 he's wrong, just on, you know, principle. So that's probably why he's not making like a huge argument about it.
Appropriate. Why would you do that? Now, Quack responds by saying your soul remains empty, getting a nice amount of likes, 77k, not bad. And xQc hits back with your bank account relates. All right, look, I don't support xQc here, but that is one of the nicest watches I've ever seen.
He's a little based
in my life. I don't know if that's an iced out Audemars Piguet or a Rolex or what we're doing there, but it's a nice watch. That being said, very garbage comeback, completely retarded, utterly stupid. Go and consult whoever whoever iced out that Rolex and ask them if they can help you construct a better roast back for a Twitter spat. Anyway, Quack responds with keep gambling, and xQc says anything else with his poker chips. Looks like he's winning. Not bad. Okay, fair enough.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of in it for the base for this base xQc shit.
Enough. But Quack hits him with the final blow, the Kaioken. Glad to see the divorce lawyers are well paid. I'm glad to see the
I don't know, man. Is that quite?
And
you know what I'll say about Quack? Here's the thing, because I remember when he got those like false allegations against him. I think there's something to be said to like not feed into the toxic Twitter machine, because that's what canceled you in the first place, unjustifiably so. And I'm not saying that there aren't criticisms of xQc, but when you play toxic Twitter machine, you're saying, give me that audience. I want toxic Twitter machine audience. And then when people come after you, you don't really get to go, guys, I'm being bullied. It's the same thing with that Rosanna girl or whatever, that person trying to come after Mr. Beast. Like, when you play this toxic Twitter game, what do you think is going to happen?
Glad to see the divorce lawyers are well paid. I'm glad to see the divorce lawyers are well paid, meaning xQc has a lot of money so we can pay them. You're just telling him what he already knows, that he has a lot of money. I don't know, not a good comeback. I could have probably done something better. I think after xQc says anything else and holds up the poker chips, I just say like,
what do you even gain from like posting on Twitter? I don't really understand that. What do you actually gain from posting on Twitter? All jokes aside, because you're just on Twitter posting. I know I'm being very redundant in my language, but what are you getting out of it? You're constantly on Twitter posting. You're not making money. You're just sitting there complaining and crying. Why?
Like, okay, I recorded something here, but I realized it was a little too based for YouTube, but just know it was good, okay? Now, in terms of the actual debate as to whether or not this content is ethical or exploitative, I would say, in general...
It is exploitative, but it's for anybody that's really engaging with it.
I don't think you should react to, like, tragic events. Even if you're being sensitive and you're talking about a certain...
Well, I disagree. You have to be able to react to sensitive events, or else how else are you supposed to have the discourse about the sensitive event if you're not allowed to react to it? I'm obviously going to disagree at that point.
Subject with a level of care and empathy. At the end of the day, you're still a fucking YouTuber. You still have your face cam in the top left corner and you're making like a surprised emoji.
Yeah, sure. But like, I think I get what you're saying. You're just a YouTuber. What the qualifications you have. You'd argue that about anything. But I think that you should still be able to... I mean, that's like a significant freedom of speech conversation, I would say.
Face whenever, like, a bomb gets dropped. And I think that makes you look like a jackass. I think it makes you look totally out of touch. And people are gonna think that you're not taking it seriously because YouTube is a fundamentally unserious format. Reacting to videos is fundamentally unserious. And sure, people can talk about serious issues and serious topics on YouTube, and obviously that's a very common thing. But I feel like when, you know, you're a reaction streamer like xQc and like Hassan, I don't know, reacting to literal tragedies, I don't think is a good look. I don't think it's something that we should normalize. And on top of all of that, it's absolutely horrible content itself. I mean, like, literally, it's a tragic event, and then you're making like a face in the top left.
It's kind of right, because a lot of people, I would just say in general, I'm not being like specific, they're just like, this is so sad, you know. It's like, yeah, no fucking kidding, you know what I mean? It's like, what are you really saying? This is not good, these people are, there's a bad thing happened. Really, it's bad, you know? It's like, what are you really giving us here?
Left corner, like, it's really
except for
not
me, when I react, I think it's okay.
Great stuff. Now, another argument that I've been seeing floating around that I do disagree with is that, you know, this sort of content profits off of tragedy. I just disagree with that.
Well, yeah, of course you're profiting off of tragedy. That's yes, of course. You know, that's the news profits off of tragedy too. Like, that's the unfortunate reality of the world.
I mean, look, like, the news profits off tragedy. Yeah, right. Everything profits off tragedy. So it's like, why specifically highlight Twitch streamers?
Well, mostly because even though there are issues with the media and the way they present and stuff and whatnot, there's generally a higher standard placed onto them than there is going to be for, you know, the silly goose Twitch streamer. So
talking about tragic events or reacting to tragic events. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't think they should be doing it. I think it's totally insensitive to, like, literal, you know, massive deaths on a large scale. But I don't think it's like because they're doing it because they want money or anything, you know?
Of course they are. So it's an interesting thing to parse through when it says doing something for money, because we all do things for money. Like, I stream for money, and as a content creator, you know, if you want to make it a serious job, you have to put out a certain amount of content in a consistent way in order for you to make money. That exists. That's a fact. That happens. That does exist. And so there's always going to be a financial factor when you talk about something. There's a reason why, you know, Hassan is just only talking about this what's going on. Part of it is money. Now the reality is, though, just because you make money from something doesn't make it wrong. Like, hey, they make money, but you know what, maybe they're also passionate about it. You know, that's probably your argument for Hassan. Or if you think it's purely for the money, then that's where it becomes an issue. If you're just like, I'm just going to constantly talk about this tragic event and siphon as much money out of it as possible, then you're obviously a piece of shit. You know, personally, I feel that way about Hassan, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I just don't like the guy, mostly because he's a piece of shit. But there's a difference. If you change your perspective on something to make as much money as possible, that's another way that you're a piece of shit. But just making money by itself isn't really a big issue. Obviously, guys, I don't know if you know this, but we need to make money to live. So
xQc will make more money doing a live stream where he like bites his toenails than this sort of stuff, you know? So
all doubtful, obviously. But
I don't know. I think it's a bad argument. After all this went down, the next day xQc made a video called I Made Twitter Mad, and it's 37 minutes where he goes through the entire recap of what happened and the beef that he got involved in on Twitter. Now, the like to dislike ratio
because Twitter was an hour
on this video is not good by any means. This is like
it's not that bad.
A lot of dislikes.
It's really not that bad. First of all, who gives a shit about like the dislike ratio? I don't care about like public opinion. If that's something that you value too much in a more political space, obviously when you're, you know, whatever, I think that's not just because people don't agree with what you're saying doesn't mean that you're wrong. Throughout history, we've seen that multiple times. Doesn't mean that you're right either, but I'm just saying. But when it comes to a conversation, like a political conversation, when it comes to like the Gaza Israel, I would argue that's probably pretty decent, because it's a pretty toxic situation. You know what I mean? Understandably so, of course. There's a lot going on. But I would argue that like it's a little different because of like how, you know, tensions are really riled up. So that's probably a pretty good like ratio for something like that.
And, you know, it's got more likes than dislikes, but it's not great. But the entire comment section seems to be totally supporting xQc. I'll read some of these. Making Twitter mad is literally the easiest thing on earth. Just exist. Don't do anything, don't say anything, and Twitter no lives will find something to complain about. Quote, I will not try my hardest to make someone not upset when their only goal is to be upset. Realest phrase ever uttered. I love how Twitter users care so much about the opinion of some guy who doesn't understand anything about politics. Props to the clip to
kind of based. It's actually good. There's something to that. That's actually a decent argument. I mean, you know, the person, you know, xQc isn't exactly the most well versed on this, and you know nobody's going to take his opinion seriously in a way that's going to like shift the political opinion or like move the political machine in some toxic way. So it's like, yeah, like who does it matter that much? Like how much does it really matter? You know, is it really that big of a deal? I don't know.
Editors working 24/7 and even gets clips that aren't even on xQc's VOD.
Maybe I should do this. Maybe I really should invest into like somebody who just watches all my streams and like gives me clips that I could put up that are like not super long, you know, clips and also shorts at the same time, and just like really go for that shit. Like if I talk about like anything that's so minor, it's like, oh, I talked about something for 3 minutes. That goes in the clips channel. It's not a big thing, you know? I got to explore that. He goes far to get the clips every single time someone says xQc. Death threats and Twitter, nothing blends together better. Well, I guess, I don't know. I guess xQc in the video. There's probably so much shit that you guys would see that like I wouldn't necessarily identify as a clip. I don't know.
Explains how he received death threats or something. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if he needs to be worried about death threats. I mean, I think he'll be fine. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this situation.
Yeah, I mean, listen, everybody sends death threats are obviously wrong, but I feel like when we say a death threat, it's like, oh, KYS. It's like that is wrong, but I mean, is that a real death threat? Or is that just somebody posturing on the internet like a baby? You tell me. You tell me, you know. Did he have like a whole thing? Damn, he posts so much. It's crazy. 37 minutes.
I'm out of bed, okay? I'm out of sleeping on the couch, okay? I wake up to this okay? I look at this guy, okay? And this guy, Noddle.
TTS.
Not Overo. Guys, I'm not gonna. Guys, I don't like roasting people based on their name because I don't know it. Because there's so many creators these days. I don't really know.
The second half, where does he start responding? Because I don't really know that I care about like the first half of this.
Andy, even with a bigger on fucking yeah.
Yeah, we already kind of went over what he responded with. I want to kind of just see his Hassan argument. That's it.
At the same time, while editing videos about the exact same topic, such as this, did Israel bomb a hospital in Gaza? Question mark. So this.
Yeah, true. And I'm pretty sure they found out that Israel did not bomb that hospital. It was a whole complicated thing that Hassan didn't concede. So.
Of course, it's fucking ahead of time. Breaking. No, guys. No breaking news policy, guys. No breaking news. Question mark.
Yeah, he said that on whatever it's called. What did he say that on? He said that on Piers Morgan's thing. It's like he like exclusively does breaking news. What are you talking about? He's such a fucking liar. It's so weird.
And it's this React Andy, even with a bigger fucking thumbnail, with fucking explosions and fire. Boom. Shit. Boom. True. Boom, right here. Straight up. I mean, it doesn't stop. Bing. Reacting Andy to boom bombs and shit.
He's right. He's got it right.
Not only is this something common for them, this is something that he does. He is somebody who does that. He's the one who creates it. So for him to go at me about this and try to dogpile on the hate because he's gonna get 3 points, it's pretty rich. It is pretty rich.
Kind of true. Kind of based. Kind of based.
Somebody could say it's fucking ironic. Using the editor, I don't give a fuck. Oh my god.
It is funny though that it is like the Hassan editor that's making that argument when we're at a point now where we know it's like a fact at this point. We have to know that Hassan appreciates xQc as a literal shield. And it's the truth. That's why he defends xQc so much to Ethan. Because Hassan knows that if it's not xQc, it's him. He would be the one that would be getting dogpiled like this. Because he already has enough of his own issues. So he's like a supporter of xQc because it benefits him. And I get it. I like xQc for that same reason. Like, let's be real. You know, I mean, I'm not as big as any of them, so obviously it's going to be very different. But realistically speaking, if it like xQc does reduce the amount of hatred you're going to get, it does kind of make sense. You know what I mean? He kind of absorbs the blows.
I just spread this information. Oh no, I can't believe this, guys. I must hold myself to a higher standard. I don't give a fuck.
Dude, I gotta be honest with you. I love xQc. Like, I know that he's like a little wiener head when it comes to his content, and like I know that he doesn't react enough. But dude, as a person, as a content creator, not a big fan of the content. As a person, dude, I think I mean I respect it. I mean, even when he makes the arguments of like, oh yeah, I'm stealing content, I don't care. Like, it's obviously wrong. But it is a little bit of a breath of fresh air to hear somebody say that. How often do you hear some fucking asshole give you some bullshit excuse for something, trying to like over justify, like, oh, blah, 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 I'm so sorry, yada, yada, yada. This motherfucker just doesn't apologize. I kind of respect it sometimes. You know, it's not always good, but I mean, dude, I'm so tired of obnoxious people that'll just cry and like they'll get a little bit of criticism and they'll be like, guys, I was so wrong. I'm so wrong about everything. I will be a better person. YouTuber apology. Blah, 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 blah. Shut up, dude. That's what, like, honestly, xQc is refreshing. So, I kind of like the guy. Like, I can't lie. This shit's so fucking annoying. I'm so tired of babies on the internet, bro.
Why the fuck would I care about misinformation? This entire thing exists off the back of misinformation. What? Oh, here's another one. Here.
America does.
Yeah, like Sniper Wolf, bro. She should have been like, "Fuck you, I'm stealing your content, bitch," and just moved on. I would have been like, instead of showing up to somebody's house and like, you know, doxing them. Probably, I would have been a little better. But if she was just like, you know what, set my balls, bro, I would have been like, that's based as hell. If Sniper Wolf just said, "I don't care, leave me alone," okay. Hey, what do I do about that?
Oh my god, is it?
Deserve 9/11, dude. Fuck it, I'm saying it.
Jesus Christ. Anyway.
Okay, all right.
Boom.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's not a whole lot else to say.
This is not about the issue or the politics of it or the fucking or the war or death or none of it. Please, I will remind you constantly in this little segment chat that none of this. Oh, it's not his channel. Oh my god, well that makes it much better. It's almost as if, right? Almost as if this is a clip from his stream, which coincidentally isn't that pretty much what xQc clips posted? A clip of my stream.
Yeah, I get what they're going into the conversation about like the Clips channel and how specific it is. You know, that's one of the things when you have an editor, you almost hide behind them. It's like, well, I didn't choose it, my editor did, but it's like, you know, you're okaying it. Either way, I feel like there's not a whole lot else to talk about in this situation. Like, it is what it is. Yeah, I feel like the criticism on xQc is kind of stupid. It just comes from the fact that he's like the target. But I respect how he responds to it, honestly.